I'm a big fan of Synology devices, and I personally use one extensively in my home lab. Honestly, it's been working great, but I'm going to be upgrading a few things for a few reasons. One, my setup is currently limited to just 8 hard drives. And two, it's actually 2 separate devices, and I'd like it to be a single unit. And 3, I'm currently changing how I archive my footage, so I'll need a bit more storage. Well, Synology just sent over their RS2423 Plus, which will take up the same 2U space as my current setup. It will give me 4 more drive slots with a total of 12. In terms of storage upgrades, I'm going to be going from 8 12TB drives to 12 14TB drives, so a significant upgrade there as well. So today, I'll be showing you how I migrate from an existing Synology system to a brand new one while keeping all your settings and not losing any data, hopefully. I actually haven't done it yet, so you'll see exactly how this goes. Before that, let's just talk about this RS2423 Plus. Like I mentioned, it's a 2U system with 12 drive bays, so really good density there. In terms of specs, well, this is where I think Synology is notoriously behind their competitors. We have a 4-core AMD chip in here that runs at 3.35 GHz and can boost up to 3.6. For RAM, we get 8 GB, but it is upgradable to 32. Both of these are upgrades from my current setup in the RS822 Plus, but man, I'd really like to see a refresh to processing and RAM across the board. As for I/O, we have 2 gigabit ports, a 10 gig port, 2 USB 3 ports, and an eSATA expansion port. Oh, and we also have a PCIe slot for expansion that we'll be making use of later. Here's the thing though, none of that really matters, and before you get mad, let me explain. For a lot of people, buying these off-the-shelf NAS devices, they're using them for one thing: file storage. So as long as your hardware can handle that, then that's all that really matters, right? And yes, there are outliers where you're using virtualization, media server, or surveillance apps that may need more power, but I'd wager that you're in the minority there. That still doesn't erase the fact that Synology systems in general are less powerful than the competitors at similar price points. But where Synology lags in the hardware department, they make up for with their software, as I think they're the standard for off-the-shelf NAS devices. So here we go, time to put my money where my mouth is and see how Synology handles a total migration from one system to another. Let's get started. Step 1 is to actually install the new drives, and I have 12 of these 14TB Western Digital UltraStar drives, pretty much what I use throughout my entire home lab. They've been great. Now, in some cases, you can actually migrate to a new system by transferring the actual drives, but I'll be using new drives since I want more expansion, and I'll just be using Synology's migration system. Okay, I guess we just have to get these installed. Now, I am only slightly worried here because these were shipped with the SATA kind of power adapter. That means that, these drives have that weird power issue where you need the special adapter or to get rid of the third pin. I don't know, read up on it. Here's an article, but it should be fine in here. I'm hoping. I really wish these were toolless. Okay, this is gonna take a while, isn't it? So what y'all got going on? Tell me a little about yourself. Wow, really? Impressive. Same thing actually happened to my aunt. That's crazy. Actually, this one's too small too. Jeez. Oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna take forever. I'll see y'all in a bit. And the last one. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is actually fire it up right here just to make sure everything works, and hopefully it does. And then we'll go about doing all the fun software stuff. So next time you see me, I'll either be super sad because this didn't work, or we'll be ready to transfer everything. So we'll see you in 3, 2, 1. All right, here I am. 1 week later, let's talk about how this went down. To do this migration, I very conveniently used Synology's migration assistant from my old system to the new one, but I made 2 mistakes when kicking this process off. One is that I connected the new system to just a 1 gig port instead of a 10 gig port. And 2, I didn't connect the new system to a UPS, so if the power flickered, I had to start the whole process over. You want to guess what happened? Yeah, about 3 days in with around 2 left, the power went out for maybe half a second, which was enough to kill the entire process, and I used this as an opportunity to fix both of these issues, which allowed the process to finish in 3 days, 19 hours, and 31 minutes. After that, all of my data and settings were moved over, but I still had a few housekeeping items to do. First thing was that my new volume was the same capacity as my old one, which meant I had to expand it to use the full beans of my new drives. This wasn't difficult or anything, but I'd like to see some kind of message or note for the user to do this if necessary. The second was on the network side, where I had to change the local DNS record and the static IP from the old system to the new one so that all my downstream processes would just continue to work regardless if they were using the IP or the hostname. After that, I was done with the software. There were some changes I had to make on the hardware side as well. My old system was equipped with a PCIe card that had dual M.2 slots and a 10 gig port, so I wanted to move that over. And it also had 32 gigabytes of RAM, so I could use that as well. One of those went smoothly. The card transfer went great and everything worked as expected. However, when I went to move the RAM over, I discovered that the RS-2423 uses full-sized UDIMMs while the RS-822 uses the smaller SODIMMs, so I had to order some new ones. No big deal, honestly, on me for not looking that up, but just something to note. Another thing I got to do was, since I had two 10 gig ports, I set up a lag configuration to give me 20 gigabit of total bandwidth to the new system. Pretty cool. Outside of those self-inflicted inconveniences, the process was as easy as you can imagine. You literally just select a source, select a destination, and hit go. Then you have to wait. The last step for me was to take those drives from the old system and then move them to my remote setup to get some more capacity there as well. Now, I know I showed all of this using two server-mounted rack station units, but this process works for nearly every device in the Synology lineup. So if you're more akin to using a desktop system, then maybe go with a DS1522 Plus, which is a 5-bay system that also has dual M.2 slots and 4 gigabit ports. For most people, this is probably going to be the way to go considering it's smaller, quieter, and cheaper. But that's all I have for this one. Overall, this was a painless process if you're not smooth-brained like me. Let me know what your experiences was like doing a data migration down in the comments. If you like this video, then drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more shenanigans. I want to give a huge shout out to my YouTube members and my Patreons. You guys are my 12-bay NAS with encryption, snapshots, remote backup, and all kinds of cool features. Y'all are great. And if you're still watching, you're Open Media Vault. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.